can see forever in all directions. If only you look, she said, you can see forever in all directions. You can see forever.
So when we first got to Australia, we cycled everywhere in the city and started using public transport a little bit, but one thing we definitely didn't need when we were in Sydney was a car. Since moving up here, things have changed a bit, and most people here have actually got 2 vehicles because you live quite a few k's out of town and there's really nothing in the way of public transport. So we're quite lucky in that we're only about 7 or 8 kilometres from town, out at our place. So we decided that the compromise we were going to reach was that we'd get a car, but we'd use it as little as possible. And the way that we minimise our car use is through the bicycles. We've still got the bikes from the journey, and when Loie's not quite as preggy as she is at the moment, she would cycle and walk to and from town with the children, and I cycle to and from work each day as long as the weather's nice, and that keeps our car use down, and that's one of the compromises we've made for living out here in the bush.
I was reflecting on the journey and the filming aspect of it, and it was really challenging being lovers and best friends and travelling companions together, but also having to be a director and a camera operator and a sound recordist and a whole film crew and an editing suite as well back home with an objective perspective. And that was really challenging, especially at times when we were really sick, or if one of us was really sick, and the filmmaker in you would think, oh, this is great footage and a great part of the film, or really challenging, stressful times where actually we wanted to stick together and get through it as travellers, but at the same time there was that desire to step back and record and observe and be the voyeur of what was going on. So being in that dynamic couple, but also having to be outside of it to reflect on it, was always a constant juggle. But yeah, it didn't break us, and we got to Sydney and we still had the camera in one piece and managed to film it all and get on well enough to get married and start a family. So it all worked out and it was all worth it.
Well, it's almost 7 years since we arrived in Sydney at the end of the journey, and life's changed a little bit since then for us. We've had these guys come to join us, Eden and Talara, with another one due to join us quite soon. And it's amazing now with hindsight, looking back at the journey. It was an amazing thing for us to do. I still can't believe the distances that we cycled or some of the adventures that we had.
Having children's a huge challenge, and it's constant learning and growing, and doing the bike journey together through some really difficult times and also fabulous times was a fantastic bonding experience for both of us, to give us lots of skills to cope with this next chapter.
I remember when we were filming the journey, and at times having to stop and film the same piece because we filmed it all ourselves, so we would have to stop and go backwards and forwards several times to get each piece of decent footage. And at times when it was really hot, Lowanna was so much more patient than me, and she'd make sure we did it all properly, and I'd be the one grumpy and impatient at the side of the road, wanting to keep moving and being really focused on the destination. And I think that's one thing I've learned through the journey and since then, is that to enjoy each moment. Well, we're a bit out of breath, but it's not surprising. We're at 3,000 metres. This is the highest we've been since leaving England. It's the highest I've ever been in my life. Stunningly beautiful here, surrounded by ancient juniper forest. It's the first trees we've seen since Turkey. All the way through Iran we didn't see any trees at all. The first forest we've seen for so long, and the air here is so clean. We come from Quetta, which was horrendously polluted, just so bad, and gave us really sore throats, so it's really great to be up in the hills. I've so much more of an awareness of that now, and a real celebration of how lucky I am to have the life and the family that I do. Hi, how you going?
All right.
Since we've been here, we've opened a organic grocery store in town, which we're very blessed is going really well. We've got some beautiful people working with us in the shop, and it keeps me busy and out of trouble most of the time. So life's good. It's going okay. Life's great. I love it.
You can see